Okay, so I'm going to discuss about your SI leader. Now, I've had SI leaders since the beginning, and I even had before we had PAL, we did have something in peer assisted learning about 2 years before SI leaders. And I've also had a PAL leader too, which was one of my present SI leaders, which is Byron. But your SI leader is there to help you and your students succeed. For example, some of the things you can do is when you're assigning problems in the class, you should encourage your SI leader to walk around and help the students stay on task. Because as a math professor, I find that students are more interested in what's going on their cell phones than they are interested in doing math problems in class. So it's always nice to have the SI leader walk around and kind of help out and be, gentle in keeping students on task. Now, if you use groups, it's always good to encourage your SI leader to visit the groups as they work on problems. Because sometimes what happens in group learning, one student does everything and the others just copy. So the SI leader would encourage other students to participate in the group. With your SI leader, you should inquire about student performance both in and out of the classroom, because while you're lecturing, I always like to have my SI leader walk around and help students stay on task and everything. And I like to know how the students are doing both in and out of the classroom. And you should ask your SI leader which students are struggling during the class and encourage those students to attend SI sessions. And you should also ask your SI leader who is going for extra help. In my case, I like to give extra credit for students who do seek out extra help. And I give them a point or so on their quizzes. And if you can, visit your SI leaders out of class sessions. The students actually really like this because they see that you're really interested in them. I mean, sometimes I'll just pop in on an SI session and the students will be happy to see me and will say hi and everything like that. So the students get that feeling that you're really involved, if you can do that. Not everybody has the time to do that sort of thing. Now, the next thing, I have to move these things around, sorry. My computer's so tiny. Okay, one of the most difficult things is getting your students to attend out-of-class SI sessions. And I find, yes, this is true. And you should encourage your students to go to these SI sessions. And you announce the SI leader his or her out-of-class schedule in class. So that's what I do. I tell them, or I let them work it out with the SI leader. Like I'll put time aside in the class and they can work out what times work best for them. And then have your SI leader, if you have a face-to-face class, I always had my SI leader, the first thing I would do, or he or she would do, would write on the side of the board what their hours are and keep it up there as long as possible so the students could see it and always know whenever they get the chance to jot down when the SI sessions are. And as I mentioned, I like to give extra credit for students who are attending SI sessions. And not everybody can do this, but I do this. And then now that we have things that are online, I like to also add in that since I've done asynchronous courses and SI asynchronous courses, you want to make sure that your SI leader is a part of the Blackboard roster as a TA, even though technically he or she isn't a TA, the Blackboard setting you want to use since they do not have SI leader settings. And this is so that your SI leader can post announcements about SI Zoom sessions, etc. If teaching synchronously, try to hold the SI Zoom session before or after your Zoom session, because students tend to like to run away and then they never return. So it's always a good idea to have them to have it before or after your Zoom session or your synchronous Zoom session. So if teaching asynchronously, try to be consistent with SI Zoom sessions. I like to have my SI leader hold Zoom sessions before our weekly online quizzes or before our homework is due. So that gives the students a chance to ask their questions, because then they're all ready either for the quizzes or to hand in their homeworks. And then email and post in the Blackboard announcements when the SI sessions are, and have SI leaders give his or her Zoom link. So I also, and then I email them also, and I post it on Blackboard. The day the SI sessions are, I do email the students just to remind them, yes, there's an SI session today at 2 p.m., et cetera, et cetera. Again, I've popped in, as my SI leaders know, I pop in on the SI Zoom sessions like I would pop in on a face-to-face class session to show the students that you care about their progress and success. And again, they really appreciate it. They go, oh, hi, Professor Familton, when I popped in on their SI sessions, even their Zoom SI sessions. And as I mentioned, I give extra credit for their Zoom sessions, and I add an extra point for each half an hour they attend an SI session. Now, my SI leader that I brought here today, I have a few of them. Wait, sorry. It's so much moving around. Is Josh Grilaska, and he's one of my SI leaders. And Josh has been one of my SI leaders since fall semester 2016, which is about when SI really got started in BMCC. And now he will talk about his experiences as an SI leader. So take it away, Josh.
Thank you, Dr. Familton. So I'm Joshua, and I've been Dr. Familton's Math SI leader, as said, since 2016. I'm currently pursuing an Applied Math Master's at Hunter College. And as far as SI is concerned, I've conducted SI sessions in class with Dr. Familton, as well as synchronously and asynchronously with Professor Conte. Soon, I'm looking forward to conducting SI sessions using the hybrid approach with Dr. Familton sometime in the future. I've worked with SI for the Math Education 214.5 course, as well as the Pre-Calculus 206.5 course. For the in-class sessions, there's obviously no lag or disconnects that experience with the online approach. For the synchronous sessions, I can quickly clarify any issues that students experience as they're currently working on problems for the first time. And lastly, for asynchronous sessions, students have more time to prepare for questions that's been stumping them for quite some time. And that's my experience with SI. And in order to motivate students in the future, I'm currently encouraging students in continuing their education by hearing out their concern, and when applicable, referring them to the appropriate department, as per an email I received quite some time ago. So these short sessions will be conducted during the SI sessions, as well as during upswing tutoring sessions. So thank you, everyone.